Okay. I'm just going to read because this is something we did last time. In the beginning of Tanya, we learned, again, we're talking about that a person always needs to be in joy, in a status of joy. And it's not easy. And we discussed last time that the reason why when a person realizes that he is the way he is, it might make him sad. Instead of thinking about God all day long, I'm thinking about sin all day long. And we discussed this last time, that this comes because a person doesn't know his place. A person has to know his level. His level is that of a Beinoni. What is the level of a Beinoni? The level of a Beinoni is someone who always struggles. His entire life, your entire life, you're going to struggle. And the fact that you're upset from it, it means you're haughty. It means you think you're better than everybody else. It means you think you're a tzaddik, a righteous person. We're not righteous. So let's go back to the thing. ועל זה אמר איוב, and this is what Job said. What did Job said? Barat harashaim, he said to God, God, you created tzaddikim and you created the rashaim. But what do you mean you created tzaddikim, you created rashaim? We choose to be. This is not something God created. God doesn't force us into sin or into being righteousness. We have free choice. So what did Job say when he said you created righteous people? I understand. He created people with no evil inclination. But when he said you created evil people, what does it mean? It means that you created people and they have no choice, they're going to be evil? So it says no. That's not what it means. You created evil, you created the wicked. Who are the wicked? People who have a tendency to think about evil all their lives. We're always going to be attracted to ego, to ourselves, to take care of ourselves. A tzaddik never thinks about himself. Something's very strange. He always thinks about God. What does God need? Not what do I need. To the extent, this is a very hard thing to comprehend, but try. To the extent that a tzaddik never eats the way we eat. He eats. Do you know why he eats? When he feels his energy is down and he cannot serve God properly. He never has a desire for a particular kind of food. A tzaddik will never add salt unless his body will need salt in order to serve God. A tzaddik will never add ketchup to his meal. There's no such thing. He will not do it. Shalom Aleichem. Thank you very much.
Ice cold.
Oh, now we're talking. Yeah? So this is what Eov said, Barat harashaim. You created us, you created wicked. ולא שיהיו רשעים באמת חס ושלום. Not that we're going to actually behave in a wicked manner. אלא, but, שיגיע אליהם כמעשה הרשעים. That we're going to experience life like wicked people. What do you mean? We're attracted to wickedness the entire day long. All day long. Let's, if I have a mechanism within me that records when I do things for God and when I do things for me. Forget, not when I do. Sorry, wrong statement. When I'm attracted to do things for God and when I'm attracted to do things for me. You know what it's going to show?
95.5.
I hope 99 probably, 99.9 I'm attracted to do anti-God. Sometimes they do what God wants.
When you
But-
do tefillah, that's you're not doing it for yourself. Then
No, I do it. You can learn the entire Shas. A person can learn the entire Gemara, and God is not in the picture for 1 second. I have a desire to learn the Gemara. Where's God in the picture? I want to know the entire Gemara. I want to feel like Buddha up there on the mountain. It's a nice feeling to connect to something which is above you. And I don't say that that's the way I do it, but it's possible to be what people claim to be the most righteous person in the world and not think about God once. Not even think about Him. You're only thinking about your desires.
When I do stuff for God, it's for my own benefit.
Sometimes.
I mean, I get something.
Yeah. Sometimes I didn't say it's always this way, but it's possible that a person will be this way. אלא שיגיע להם כמעשה הרשעים במחשבתם. In other words, all day long we are drawn to the actions of the wicked in our thoughts. והרהורם. That's what we contemplate the entire day. Not what God wants. Ask yourself, I'll ask myself. If I ask myself truly, when was the last time you thought what God wants, and when was the last time, and how many times a day did you think what you want? All day long I'm busy to think what I want. When do I think what does He want? I do what He wants. It's not like in action, as a religious person, I do what God wants on many occasions. But when I wake up in the morning, am I waking up in the morning thinking, God, what do you want? Or Rami, what do you want? First thing in my mind is, first of all, should I get up now or sleep another 5 minutes? That's the first thing in my mind. And the second thing in my life, when am I going to have my cup of coffee? Yes, I'm going to daven, but my first thing about is, when am I going to have my cup of coffee? That's what I'm thinking about. והם יהיו נלחמים תמיד להסיח דעתם מהם. And our job is to always come and to always fight in order to push these things away. And it's never going to end. כדי להתקפי על סטרא אחרא ולא יוכלו לבטלה מכל וכל. And we're never going to be able to push it away completely. כי זה נעשה על ידי צדיקים. Because this is done by the righteous people. So this is we covered last time. And another thing that we covered last time, in other words, you have to know your level. You're not a righteous person. Don't become upset that you're not a righteous person. Don't become upset that you're not a righteous person. If you become upset that you're not a righteous person, it means you're haughty. You think you're better than yourself. And then it tells us, ושתי מיני נחת רוח לפניו יתברך למעלה. God put two kinds of people in this world. And these two kinds of people have two kinds of job. אחד מביטול הסטרא אחרא לגמרי, והתהפכה מרירו למיתקה ומחשוכה לנהורה על ידי הצדיקים. One is the sweet kinds of food that we discussed last time. The work that the tzaddikim do. It's like sweet honey, sugar, desserts for God. This is one kind of pleasure that God have in the work of people. The righteous people give Him honey, they give Him sugar, and God enjoys it. והשנית, and the second enjoyment of God, כד התקפיה סטרא אחרא בעודה בתוקפה וגבורתה. God enjoys even more. What does He enjoy more? When you take sugar and you make a dessert, it's tasty. But how much cake can you eat? But when you take something sour or something sharp, and that you turn into dessert, this is really delicious. This is really the sustenance of God. In other words, the flavoring, when you take something sour, when you take something bitter, and you turn that into something sweet, into a delicacy food, this is the job that we do. And what's the sour? What's the sour and the bitter? That's our evil inclination. The evil inclination that we have towards doing evil, and we stop ourselves and we don't do evil, every time we stop ourselves, this is a pleasurable food to God. And God likes this kind of food more than he likes the cakes and the honeysuckles that the tzaddikim give him. This is his real pleasure. So why are you upset that you're having these thoughts? On the contrary, you should be happy. You're making God happy. Every time you push these evil thoughts away throughout the day. And this is what we said last time. And this is the work through us. And then we discussed something that we started to discuss and we stopped in the middle, that when Yitzchak went to Esav, Yitzchak had twin boys. One was named Esav, one was named Yaakov. Esav was what? Everybody remembers what it was? He was red. Admumi, red and hairy. Red and already made. Which symbolizes, what does that symbolizes? Red and already made. Our evil inclination. We are born with it. Every creature is born with the will to survive. Will to survive means God put this will in every person, in every creature in this world. There is this desire to exist. The desire to exist means I want money, I want women, I want pleasure. That's the desire to exist. This is represented by whom? By Esav, who's red. And the godly soul is represented by whom? By Yaakov. It's the two twins that live in each and every one of us. And Yitzchak, if you remember, he came to whom? To ask for tasty food. In order so he can bless him. Esav. He came specifically to Esav. Why did he come to Esav and not Yaakov? Because Esav's food is tastier. Why is Esav's food tastier? Because Esav can turn the bitterness and the negative part into good, and then the food is much tastier than just the sweet sugar that Yaakov will bring him. And this is what Eov says. God, you created righteous people, Yaakov people, and you created Reshaim, and you created Esav people. And here we're going to have a question that we didn't ask last week. If you remember, when they grew up, Esav and Yaakov, they each went their own way. By the way, until they were the age of 13, they were quite equal. But when they grew up, after 13, they each went their own way. Esav, just by the way, Esav on his bar mitzvah, when he became 13, you know what he did at his bar mitzvah? He became the king of the world. He killed Nimrod. That he did on his 13th birthday. That's when he came back. You remember when he came back, he was tired? And he asked Yaakov to sell him the firstborn. You remember this whole story? He was tired from killing. That's the tiredness what was come. So this is Esav. That was in 13. Because until then they had free choice, right? So I'm going to prove to you that maybe they didn't have free choice. Maybe. There's a famous story in the Torah itself. It's not even in the Midrash. The story is told in the Torah itself. That when Rivka was pregnant, she went to seek God, it says. And it says, why did she go to seek God? What was the problem? Anybody remembers what was the problem?
The tumbling inside or the struggle?
Very good. So it says she didn't understand something. Every time she came next to yeshiva, the yeshiva of Shem ve'Evel, Yaakov was struggling to come out. And every time she went next to an idol worship place, Esav was struggling to come out. And she was confused. What kind of baby do I have? So according to this, God is already decreed on Esav to be attracted to what? To idol worship. So why do we say it's free choice? But according to what we learned up to now, it's going to make sense. Esav was attracted to idol worship, but not the way we think he was attracted to. He was attracted to idol worship in order to turn it into godliness. In other words, Esav was attracted to sin because he realized that in sin he can serve God. This is his job in this world. Yaakov's job in this world is to serve God through witness, through learning, through doing commandments. And Esav's job, he realized even when he was a baby, my mission in life, how do I serve God? By pushing sin away. This is what I was created for. Now, unfortunately, he didn't push his from free choice afterwards. He didn't. But that's his mission. His mission is to push sin away. And most people are Esav Jews. And not the Yaakov Jews. Strangely enough, we are called what? Bnei Israel, the sons of Israel, the sons of Yaakov. So why am I saying most Jews? So that we're going to get an answer more clear later on. But right now, at least we can understand why Esav was attracted to all this house of idol worships. He realized that this is his mission in life. His mission is to push sin away. That's his mission. Let me... this is not so much concerned, but it will explain a lot. And it has to do with this, so I'm going to get it. Let's talk about the pride movement. The gays, the lesbians. It's the first time, I would say, in history where society celebrates the proud movement. They celebrate being proud. You want to sin, sin. But what is there to be proud about? So let's try to understand, according to what we learn, what is there to be proud about? See, if two males are attracted to each other and they want to live with each other, like in the 60s or in the 70s, they might ask for civil union. Okay, I understand. You want some laws to be the same. But why do you want to get married? Marriage is between men and women. What caused this movement to seek marriage specifically? And I'll tell you what caused it. The fact that people look at sin as depravity. It made them sad. In the old time, when a person was attracted to another man, he felt there's a problem over here. I'm attracted to another man. I'm depressed. It makes me depressed. And the only way I can get out of my depression is I'm going to make it okay. How am I going to make it okay? But making sure that society is going to approve of it. It's going to become okay. See, if the world would have learned Tanya, we wouldn't have this problem. Not that we wouldn't want to sin, not that there wouldn't be gays. Yes, there would be gays in the world. And the gays would realize that's what's my job. I have a desire, so therefore what do I have to do? To control it. Control your desire. I'll give you a simple question for that. How did God make man? Every man that is healthy, God created him with the desire to be with as many women as possible. Every man was born with that desire. So how come you don't go off to your wife, like the gay society tell to each other, hey, wifey, God made me this way. If you really love me, if you truly love me, let me express myself.
Break you, friend.
Yeah, if you really love me, let me express myself. It means you don't really love me. What would your wife tell you? You're crazy. Control yourself. That's what she would tell you. So why do I need to control myself? Let's say I love every other woman in the street except my wife. Not love. I love my wife, but I'm attracted to any other woman. Why is she stopping me from going with them? It's not, that's my nature. That's the way God created me. See, the same thing is with the gay society. What they are trying to do? They're trying to make their evil inclination legitimate. You don't have to make it legitimate. It's evil inclination. We all have it. Control it. That's what God demands out of you. And now we're going to go to the next step, which is going to be very, very, very hard in the beginning, but you're going to appreciate it soon. So every time you're supposed to control yourself against sin, right? Comes the Alter Rebbe and tells you, not only are you supposed to control yourself against sin, you're supposed to control yourself against any thought about yourself. Not sin. The desire to food, control yourself. The desire to your wife, not somebody else's wife, control yourself. The desire for kosher meat, control yourself. Why? Because what is the idea of this battle between these two people, between Esav and Yaakov? What is the idea? Esav is constantly thinking about himself, and Yaakov is constantly thinking about God. So every time the thought is about yourself, one is supposed to do what? Control yourself. Are you going to change your desires? No. You're going to stand with the desires about yourself your entire life. You're never going to change it. Or if you're going to change it, we're going to see soon how. But you're supposed to control yourself. In what? Not only in forbidden things, also in permissible things. Even in permissible things, one has to control himself. And let's look at the words right now. This is actually where we stopped last time. We are halfway through the page, in page 121, where there's a full stop. Last word on the line is kedeita. Kedeita b'Gemara, like it says in the Gemara, Sha'a revi'it ma'achal kol adam. It says the fourth hour of the day. This is something that people should know. In the old time, people did not have 3 meals a day, they only had 2 meals a day. Time of the Gemara, time of the Mishnah, people had only 2 meals a day. They made a little snack in between here and there, but 2 main meals. Yeah? So when was the first meal? Sha'a Revi'it, on the 4th hour of the day, was the first meal. Ma'achal kol adam, this is the when all the normal folk ate. Sha'a Shishit, the 6th hour, Ma'achal Talmidei Chachamim. You know who ate in the 6th hour? The sages. Now tell me, how does it make sense? Both regular people, the simple folk, and the sages ate the same, let's say they ate the same amount of food. Not only they ate the same amount of food, they spent the same amount of time eating the food. So the question is, what does it matter when you eat it? What's the difference when you eat it? It doesn't make a difference. If you ate it in the 4th hour or in the 6th hour, it's the half an hour you're going to eat your meal. Whether it's in the 4th, and the rest of the time you did what you're supposed to do. It doesn't make a difference where you ate it in the 4th or the 6th. So why does it tell us, the Gemara, that the sages ate 6 hours during the day? It has the same effect. So he's going to explain. והיו מרעיבים עצמם. They would make themselves hungry. 2 שעות, 2 hours. Why? What's that for? What's that all about? לכוונה זו, for this idea. אף שגם אחר הסעודה היו לומדים כל היום. And it didn't make a difference, because whenever they were not eating, what were they doing? They were learning, they were studying. So it doesn't make a difference when you're going to eat. What's the difference? What's the idea? Don't do what you want. Train yourself that your desires are not what's important. And this is going to be a message, a practical message for us. Notice, it doesn't say they fasted. It doesn't say they fasted. They didn't fast. They ate exactly the same amount of food as everybody else. But what? They didn't eat it when they desired it. They pushed it away on purpose. And the same practice we should do. If you're on the Shabbos meal and you're eating ice cream, and you want to have the ice cream right now, I don't tell you don't eat ice cream. Go ahead, eat ice cream. It's kosher. There's no problem in eating ice cream. But you know, if you desire it right now, push it away 2 minutes. I'll eat it in 2 minutes. Why? Because I don't do things that I want. I will do it for God. That pushing it away doesn't mean that next time you're not going to desire it. You're going to desire it next time. But you're going to show your evil inclination who's boss. You don't tell me what to do. I control you. You don't control me. And a person has to behave in such a manner all the time. Whenever you have a desire for yourself, stop. I'll decide when to eat it. Yeah, eating is important. I'll decide when to eat. Tell you a story. There's a story about one of the Hasidim of the Alter Rebbe. His name was Shmuel Munkes. I don't know if you heard about him. A famous Chassid. Was a big sage, but he used to be a clown. You know, he used to behave, do practical jokes, make jokes all the time. So there was once Hasidim sitting down and having a farbrengen. What's a farbrengen? People come together and they talk about words of Torah. They say L'chaim, and they say words of Torah. It wasn't with the Rebbe. It was just the Hasidim. Just the disciples were there. And they were having there. And Rabbi Shmuel Munkes, he liked Hasidim, he liked people. So he was the waiter. He made sure everybody has enough beers, it was Russia, so everybody had enough vodka, and everybody has enough food, and so on and so forth. All of a sudden, the butcher comes in, and he has in his plate like lots of good meats, right there on the plate. So Rabbi Shmuel Munkitz goes to take the plate, and he's about to distribute it to the people. And he goes to the one guy, and he wants to give him, he takes it away. But everybody knows the Shmuel Munkitz, he's a joke. That's what he is, he's a joker. So this happens for about 2-3 minutes. And after like 3-4 minutes, okay, everybody got the joke. It's not funny anymore. After 4 minutes, it's not funny anymore. So the one guy says, stop with the joke. People are hungry over here. People want to eat something. You brought good food. Put it around. And Shmuel Munkitz continuing with the joke. No, he takes it away. And then one of them became really angry. One of them, he got up and he ran after him to grab the plate. So Shmuel Munkitz took all this meat, and it was the old time, you can imagine Lubavitch in the old time. There was a place where all the bathrooms ran, there was a little stream from all the bathrooms, and he took all the meat straight into the place over there, into the sewer. Everybody would go so angry. Excuse me, this is Russia, the old time. People are poor. You just destroyed a whole plate of meat because of your stupid joke. Because you decided to be a joker. Okay? So they had a quick discussion, and the quick discussion is it deserves lashes. That was the quick discussion. So Shmuel Munkitz, like I said, he was a clown. He jumped up on the table, he picked up his shirt, and he said, give me lashes. You said I deserve lashes, give me lashes. So one of the guys slapped him a couple of times on his back. Slapped him a couple of times on his back. And the story was over. About 20 minutes later, after all these things happens, the butcher runs back in, all white. And he says, guys, don't eat it. And they all, what happened? He said, don't ask, there was a mistake, there was an exchange. I don't know what happened, but the meat that was served to you was not kosher. Wow. Wait, the story doesn't end over here. All the Hasidim got upset again. Why did they get upset now? Now they got upset because he had premonition of it. Yeah? And he's such a holy person and he didn't tell them. So they had a discussion again. And they told him, you deserve lashes for the facts that you have premonition and you didn't tell us. So he, again, jumped up on the table, took off his shirt, and he said, hit me. Again, this time, nobody hit him. Nobody hit him. And he told them, I had no premonition. I'm not a prophet. I'm not such a person. So they asked him, how did you know that the meat was not kosher? So he says, I didn't know that the meat was not kosher. But you know what I did know? I saw the strange desires that we all had for that stupid meat. And I know that whenever you have a desire that doesn't come from God, it comes because you just have your personal desire, you have to push it away. And when one of the guys came up and was willing to fight me for it, I knew that this is a problem. I said, you shouldn't have it. And that's why I threw it away. But it's not like I'm a holy person, he said. It's just that I was taught by the Alter Rebbe that whenever you have a desire, it's okay to wait for 2 minutes. And if your evil inclination tells you, don't wait 2 minutes, that's what the problem is. What's the problem? Wait 2 minutes. Every time you have a desire, not just for sin, even for permissible things, if you have a desire, it's your desire, it's not for God, wait. Don't let the evil inclination win. If it's the right thing to do, to eat, eat. But you decide when. Don't let him decide when. Push it for 1 minute. You don't have to push it for 2 hours. He wants you to eat it right now? No, I'll eat it in 15 minutes. He wants you to have 3 ice creams? 3 scoops of ice creams? Eat only 2. Not because he does something. You're not going to tell me what to do. That's the idea behind it. So let's look inside. So this is the first part. So the first part, when it comes to food, you know what's harder than food?
What to resist, sir?
Yeah, what's harder than food to resist? Permissible things.
Drink. Water.
What?
To drink liquid.
That's included in food.
Okay.
That's much harder.
Relations with your wife?
Not necessarily. Not necessarily. Yeah. When you're married for a long time, it's not that hard. Yeah? 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 You know what's the hardest thing in the world? Let's say there was a war with Iran right now. You know what's happening in Iran? Yeah, but we don't know, actually. Let's say it just started the first time. You know what's the hardest thing? Not to talk about it. It's not even Lashon Hara. Lashon Hara is forbidden. We're not talking about Lashon Hara. Lashon Hara is the sin. This is permissible.
You're wasting time.
Exactly. What are you doing? If you're a minister in the government and you need to talk about it, that's one thing. But over here, why are we talking about it? Why are we wasting hours discussing the situation in Iran and about Trump? What does that do? The hardest thing in the world is to shut your mouth. That's it. And especially, I tell you what's the hardest thing for me, when there's a juicy story that you know the other guy would like, the more you know he likes, the harder it's going to be for you to shut a person's mouth. It's impossible. It's almost like there's a desire. You will pay him to hear. If you haven't noticed, you will give him money just so that he will listen to you. It's so hard. So this is the second part he's going to say. And we're not talking about negative things. We're not talking about speaking evil. Just speaking politics. Talking about a soccer game. Whatever it is, I don't care. וכן אם בולם פיו, if a person stops his mouth, מלדבר דברים שליבו מתאווה מאוד לדברם, to speak words that his heart desires to speak them. מענייני העולם, from the matters of the world, like news, like football. Today it's in, וכן, and not only that, to speak to us, you know where else one should stop it? Forget about not talking to him. What about, can I think about it? Can I think about the situation in Iran? Says, why? Why are you wasting your time thinking about the situation in Iran? וכן ביאורי מחשבתו. And also, when you're just thinking to yourself. Thinking to yourself, don't let yourself think about it. I'm talking about permissible things. We're not talking about now. Why? Why do that? אפילו במעט מזעיר. Even a little bit, don't let yourself. Every time these thoughts come to your mind, push them away immediately. They're not for God. You know who has pleasure thinking about how Messi put the ball in the corner over there of the goal? Who has pleasure? God has pleasure from it? No, I have pleasure from it. I'm doing it for me. God couldn't care less about Messi. I care about Messi, or Ronaldo, or whoever it is. דאיתקפיה סטרא אחרא לטאטא, because every time our job is to what? When those desires of me, my pleasure, my thinking, my thing comes out, when we push it away down here, istalek ikra דקודשא ברוך הוא וקדושה לעילא, this energy goes up, הרבה אלת, ומקדושה זו, and the more you do it, your behavior down here is going to cause something. You know what it's going to cause? נמשכת קדושה עליונה לאדם למטה. God is going to give you a certain holiness down here, לסייעו סיוע רב ועצום לעבודתו יתברך. To help you with the service of God. You know, a lot of people who begin to keep Shabbat, the laws of Shabbat, it's very hard for them in the beginning. It's extremely hard. They miss television, they miss smoking, they missed going out with friends. The entire Shabbat is concerned about what they're not allowed to do, and they miss it constantly. But ask any religious person who's been keeping Shabbat for a long time, after 2 years, 3 years, ask them, do you miss all these things? The answer is going to be no. I don't even understand why I used to miss them. And do you know why it happened? Because you pushed away in action those desires for many times. Every Shabbat you wanted to smoke. Every Shabbat you wanted to watch television. Every Shabbat you wanted to go to the beach. You wanted to play soccer. And you pushed them away. And slowly, slowly, you know what God does? Slowly, slowly, He takes those desires away. The more you push those desires down here, the more God will take them away. Until there will be, even for a regular guy like us, you will not have them anymore. But don't be so happy. You won't have those anymore, you're going to have new ones. Different ones. More refined ones. But it doesn't matter. You're always going to have different ones. But at least you don't have these ones. You have a different ones. A higher refined ones. You're always going to have it. There's always going to be desires. But at least not these ones.
The tzaddik doesn't have that.
Tzaddik doesn't have it at all. That's right. וזה שכתוב רז"ל, and this is what the sages tell us, teach us, אדם מקדש עצמו מעט למטה, when a person makes himself holy a little bit down here, מקדשים אותו הרבה מלמעלה, God gives him holiness a lot from up there, לבד מה שמקיים מצוות עשה, besides the fact that he fulfilled the commandment of the Torah. Which commandment? God gives us a commandment. What is the commandment? והתקדשתם, become holy, be holy. What does it mean to be holy?
Separate.
What is it? How am I going to be holy?
Holy things you separated from the regular stuff.
By not doing a sin? That's how I become holy? So he says, no. דהתקדש לך, the Gemara says, you make yourself holy in permissible things. That's how you make yourself holy. Those things that are forbidden are forbidden. By keeping them, you don't make yourself holy. You know how you make yourself holy? From staying away from permissible things that are not for God. When those permissible things are for your own desire, you stay away from it, that makes you holy. I'll give you an example of a holy person. Having relationship with the wife only when she wants, not when you want. You ever thought about that? Yeah? Usually, who's the one? Usually, in most marriages, the man is the one who initiates. The man is the one with the greater desire. Usually, in most marriages. That's the way it works. You know what a chassid? You know how you make yourself holy? I'm not going to do it when I want to do it. Have relationships. I'm going to do it when she wants me to. Then it's mitzvah. This is how you make yourself holy. This is v'itkadashtem, in the things that are permissible. And you don't have to take it just, this is an example to give in thing. It can come with food. I'm not going to eat those things that I desire. I'm going to eat those things that are healthy so I can serve God the best way possible.
That's good. So we get holier with age.
In this way, that's right. That's right. והתקדשת. כשמקדש עצמו, when it says you sanctify yourself, במותר לו. In what things? In the things that are permissible to you. ופירוש, and it means, והתקדשתם, it means when you make yourself holy, שתעשו עצמכם קדושים, that you're going to make yourself holy. It says, what do you mean? You're not holy, you still desire. So, what does it mean? I want to be with... Now, over here, the evil inclination can cheat you. And I'll explain to you how. A person decides he's going to be holy, is only going to have relationship with his wife when she wants. But you know what does he do all day long? He thinks about the fact that he's waiting for the time that his wife is going to ask him. No, that doesn't work this way. Then you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. We're not talking about that. You're talking, if you see yourself, you can't concentrate on anything else, then the holy thing is to go up to her and says, let's have a relationship so I can do something productive with my life and not think about this all day long. Or with food, for example. It's the same thing. Don't be stupid. Yeah? If a person notices that I'm pushing away food, but then I don't have the power and the energy to concentrate in learning Torah, then what are you doing? You're not doing...
So if a person has the discipline to push away their desires for physicality and pleasures, they're holy.
That's what holiness is.
Okay.
That's in permissible things.
Yeah.
As long as it doesn't hurt him, it doesn't hurt the connection to God. Once it hurts the connection to God, you don't... Again, exactly, what are you doing? כלומר, אף שבאמת אינו קדוש. It's not that you're going to be, it's not like you're going to be holy now. So now you're holy, you don't have desires anymore? No, it's not true. You still have the desire. שאף באמת אינו קדוש ומובדל מסטרא אחא. You're still the same person you were before. כי בתקפה ובגבורתו, you constantly think about your desires. It's not going to go away. ובגבורתה, כתולדתה בחלל השמאלי, it's still in your left ventricle, it still pulls you into its own being, רק שכובש יצרו, מקדש עצמו, but you control it. You tell the evil inclination, I'm the boss. I decide when I eat. I decide when I have relationship with my wife. If I can push it away and learn Torah, I'll push it away and learn Torah another day. If I see I can't, yeah, then I'll come over. This is the idea behind it. If I can push away the meal and still concentrate about studying, I'll push away the meal and concentrate about study. Once I see I can't, then I go to... But I'm going to decide. When I see that God gets hurt, I will decide when to eat. You don't tell me when to eat. And you don't tell me how much to eat. And you don't tell me what to eat. We don't let Esav ever tell you what to do. The evil inclination, the desire to survive should never tell you what to do. And our job as Jews is to do what throughout our life? To always tell him, you're not the boss. I decide when to eat, not you. And this is the most delicious food for God. More delicious than what the righteous man does. So whenever those desires come to you, be happy. You're serving God in the utmost way. והייתם קדושים, and it says you should be holy. כלומר, סופו להיות קדוש ומובדל באמת. You're going to notice that the more you push the evil inclination away in a particular step, God will help you from above, and you're not going to have evil inclination for that thing anymore after a while. That doesn't mean the evil inclination is gone. It's just going to be transferred to something else. It's never gone. You're never going to get to a level where you don't have evil inclination. But you know what? Evil inclination used to be for women and wine, and now the evil inclination is to learn the entire Gemara. That's a good evil inclination to have. To learn the entire Gemara. I don't do it. I don't have the evil inclination to learn the Gemara for God. But I have it for me. I want to feel the accomplishment of finishing the entire Gemara. That's a good evil inclination to have. And now I have to work myself not to do it because I desire it, to do it because God wants it. That's the next. And if I'll practice that long enough, God will take that. I'm just doing it for honor. He will take it away, that also. But then I'm going to have an evil inclination for something else. It's never going to end. We're always going to have the evil inclination. But at least it's going to be more refined. It's not going to be for women and wine. We're not going to be like a dog. והייתם קדושים, and you should be holy. כלומר, which means סופו להיות קדוש ומובדל באמת. In the end, we're really going to be holy. מהסטרא אחרא. From the evil. From the Esav. על ידי שמקדשים אותו הרבה מלמעלה, because God is going to help you. The more you push it down here, the more help you're going to get from God, from up there. ומסייעים אותו לגרשה מליבו, and God is going to help you chase it away from your heart, slowly, slowly, to such a degree that you can get to a level, which we're going to say later on, where you're not going to be even aware of it. You're not a tzaddik yet. Up to here.